Right, so here we are. Martin, how's things?
James, how are you this morning?
I'm good, mate. Look, I'm not sure the quality of this stream, and particularly your audio, but considering this is our first live
The
stream,
quality of the banter will be first class regardless of the technical issues, James.
yes. So look, I'd like to discuss the topic of anonymous sex. Yeah.
Yeah, the topic of our time.
I'm mucking around here, but I mean, you know, as a early to mid 30s guy, professional, um, you know, what are some tips? What are three top tips you give to single guys on, or not so single guys, on internet dating and how to progress in that field?
Well, for us listeners, it's probably worth telling our listeners the journey that both you and I embarked on. I mean, when we first met sort of 10, 11 years ago,
Yes.
professional services firm in Australia, we were both sort of saw ourselves as good, upstanding, moral people.
Yes.
Who didn't indulge in this sort of thing. Gradually over the years, we've obviously, had a complete 180, both emerged as very skilled practitioners in the art, if that makes sense. So I think we're both very eminently qualified to speak on this subject.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, we've got 0 viewers here and 0 likes. We've got a big following
I
here.
don't know what they're missing.
I know. Well, considering this is our first live stream, and it's probably going to be really shitty quality. They're probably not going to be able to hear me talking.
Well, I might start a Twitter account for this and get some hashtags trending. I'm sure we can build up to,
Yeah.
4 or 5 listeners very, very quickly.
Hashtag anonymous sex. Hashtag Tinder. Hashtag James Madison vis-a-vis Martin Whitelaw. Hashtag, yeah, could go on.
Avenue.
Yeah, Madison Avenue. Yeah. Okay. Craigslist or Lecanto?
The age old, it's a bit like Israel Palestine, really. It's the equivalent, you're either one or the other, or in my case, both. But, the exception that makes the rule. Back in the day, I maintained Lecanto was forced to be recommitted.
Yeah.
Some really good nights of that, but increasingly, I've seen it become polluted by
Yes.
people who are in it for the money rather than the thrill of the chase, which, it used to be about that.
I found it really frustrating, because you read these ads and it's like, they post the same picture of the same girl, and always embedded in the picture is some bullshit Gmail account,
Yep.
and it's
Yep.
like, we're in Asia, and it's referring to, stuff in the US. Okay, I know these things are cut and paste, but guys, it's a different country.
I know. It's really disappointing. But I mean, that just speaks volumes to the demise of Lecanto as a platform. I remember probably the crazy heady days of 2010, despite being in a relationship on paper during that time. Lecanto was one of my first ports of call. Genuine, naive, young, self-conscious women with daddy issues. They were the golden days of Lecanto.
Yeah, I'm just I've changed the view for the video actually to something a bit boring, because I want to try and get a better sound quality off this.
Sure. That's primarily what our listeners tune in for.
They do. So we were discussing Craigslist or Lecanto, dilemma. Now, coming back to the internet, and what would be your 3 top tips for men?
Well, I probably, it depends. It depends exactly what they're looking for to some extent.
Yeah.
But I would, my starting point was to try and make myself sound as far removed from the person I was, which
Yeah.
is pretty good advice for anyone in this caper. So rather than the angry, slow, lonely, sex crazed man that I was, I would make myself sound genuine, sincere, kind, caring, easygoing, and someone with a real passion for life.
Everything that you weren't at that
Pretty
time.
much.
Yeah.
And you know me better than anyone, and obviously I'm at a different stage now, but I don't think any of those things really apply to me now anyway, let alone back then.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, lie.
Well, your words, not mine.
Basically, lie. Yeah, I always found that it was good to. Sometimes I went for the direct approach and did the old, I'm up for it, are you up for it? Which did actually work a couple of times on a platform like Craigslist where there are other like-minded people. But I always found on dating apps it was better to be indirect and never give up the game up front.
The long game in some ways.
Yeah, pretend that you're in it for the long game, but then you're not.
Yeah, well, that's really, really sound advice for anyone out there. And our listeners wouldn't be aware, but there are a few people who have the strike rate of the 2012 versions of James and Martin. Let's be honest.
Yeah, your strike rate was what, 35 or?
I feel like that's the number I work on, but I feel like there's probably bound to be one or two that
Slip through the cracks, so to speak.
Slip through the cracks, because I know you, one of your favourite activities to do during the working day is to get out a little post-it note and write sort of, year by year accounts, highlights, lowlights, best, worst, all of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Happy memories of those days.
Oh, yes, seems like a different lifetime sometimes, doesn't it?
Well, I had a slight revival back in May last year, as you're aware.
I do remember.
Yeah.
I looked on in awe. Yeah, you reminded me of the sort of, former great on the football field who, turned back the clock for one last season.
Yeah, that was kind of fun actually, particularly.
I'll bet. It was fun watching on also.
Yeah, it was good. What do you think are the benefits of, say, being in a relationship as opposed to casual anonymous sex?
Well, I sort of everyone's different, but for me, the period when I was sort of indulging in those high numbers was probably one of the unhappiest times of my life. And look, I don't want this stream to get too serious, because that's not what it's about. But as you know, back in those days, I was not a happy person.
Well, you were for about an hour or 30 minutes or however long it took you to.
Every week.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. It was probably the only time I felt alive.
Yeah, I must admit, when I was going through the breakdown of my long-term relationship, one of the highlights was, getting that text back from that woman and that you'd been talking to for about 2 hours and realising, you were going to get your end away that evening,
Yeah. Well, there was always that fantastic moment in any of these conquests where you would get the
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it was, that was a real buzz whenever that occurred, no matter how many times we'd done it. And I
Yeah.
always used to tell you, if you stop getting that buzz when you get that message, then it's time to give the game away.
Well, the anticipation was more than half of the reward. You know, like.
Well, it really was actually. Oh, it was a funny one, isn't it? But that was when the adrenaline was just cranking.
Yeah. Happy times, man.
Oh, they were really good days.
They were good days. Well, they were not overall, but they kind of.
Well, true, but in that respect, they were
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I often wonder if I could go back to that. I mean, I definitely. Well, I could, but you know, obviously, the downside to that is, you know, well, is there one? um,
Yes, look, our hero listeners will be wondering why
yeah.
with
Well,
some of my and your long and rambling anecdotes.
yeah. Yeah, these days there's a lot to be said for not being married. Considering the divorce rates and the consequences of divorce when it comes to the division of assets and the care of children. Really, things are stacked against you. The benefit is really just purely an emotional and, mental health one, I think, knowing that you've got someone there that, is committed to you and cares about you, and likewise
That is nice.
you them, and you can channel your energy into that person. But problem with that is no one's perfect, and people come and go, and when they go, for whatever reason, it can have a lot more devastation than.
Well, that is very true. I guess my mum had a saying, I'm a fan of it, I know you are as well. At the end of the day, all of us, all we really have to count on is ourselves.
Oh, that's I have that saying. If you want something done, do it yourself. And I found that's true about 90% of the time. You can't really. I mean, there are very few people in life that you can rely on, and even those that you can rely on will let you down, and you just have to get used to that fact.
Yep.
That's just the nature of things. The people,
Great.
even relatives, and you often relatives, because they're the ones you think will never let you down, but they've got their own weaknesses and their own issues. So that's just the way that it is, and it can be pretty daunting. Like what happened to me a couple of weeks ago, where I found myself sitting in a hospital bed on my own and thinking, God, how do I get out of this situation? I've really got no one, and then I'm going to be going through, a situation over the next couple of weeks where I'm going to be in a really vulnerable position with no one and nothing to help me, and it's pretty scary. And I think it's at times like that I do miss family, and I do miss, the commitment that comes with having someone there that you're committed to. And in that regard, I still kind of believe in marriage, but the flip side of that, of course, is that it's terrifying. You're connected to the hip to that person for life, and it's almost it's a form of indentured servitude, and if either of you break the contract, the consequences for that are going to be terrible, right? Both financially and emotionally. So you're kind of damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. There's only one person in my life that I know that's kind of navigated it successfully in terms of remaining single, but he's pretty exceptional, most other men that I know are married or have been married at one point or another in their lives, and most of them are at best content, if not miserable, but the best I'd say is content. They're not desperately happy. And the ones that say that they are, it's like, is that just some sort of Facebook facade?
Yes, social media.
Yeah, it's just bullshit. There's social media bullshit, People putting up the pictures of their happy marriage, and we both know people that have this image of the happy marriage, and we both know that they've messed around, right? That one in that firm we both that we worked in, right? And she did the guy on the table at work, right? Now she puts up pictures of her and her kids and happy marriage. It's like, if only the husband knew what she'd done. Well, what was the one, the soldier? Remember? You told me about.
Yeah, look, that was a complicated one. We could sit here and argue about who was right or wrong until the cows came home. But sometimes we just need to accept that particular scenarios and nuanced, complicated and messy, just like life itself.
Wasn't he in the military or something, and he was away on a tour of duty?
Look, I couldn't betray the confidence of that friend, so I'll have to.
You're gonna pass on that one?
I have to plead the fifth on that one.
Yeah. But don't you think it's true? Like, I don't know of your friends, but certainly of mine, the vast majority of men that I know that are married or in committed relationships are trapped. They're unhappy, and they want to leave because, or they have to stay because if they leave, it means that they're going to be financially wrecked, and they're going to have limited access to young children, and so they choose to remain in these relationships. And in all of the circumstances that I know, without exception, it's the women that have ended these relationships. I'm certainly not saying that men are not without fault, right? But I'm just saying, in modern society, there's kind of very little benefit in marriage for a guy. It just means, probably for the first couple of years until you've had a few children, there will be happy times, and maybe for a few years after that. But when the monotony sinks in, things get tough. And I mean, human beings, we're only living to 40 years old not that long ago, and now we've doubled our life expectancy in less than 200 years. And I'm not sure that we were meant to be together with someone for close to 100 years, or 80, or 60 years, or whatever.
Yes, and I mean, to be perfectly honest, even as far as friendships go, I have increasingly found as I've gotten older that a lot of friendships that I formed early on don't stand the test of time.
Yeah. How many guys from school are you still friends with?
One.
Yep, me too. One. There's only one, and it's someone that I hated.
Perfect. Sorry, go on.
It's someone that I hated.
Well, that's it, me too. And the irony of that is just, mind-boggling. But I mean, I think, I know we've had this discussion before, but even people who nominally claim to be your friend, I have found when the going gets tough, are nowhere to be seen. and even worse than that, seem to take some sort of pleasure in, whether it's, gossiping to other people
Yeah.
or saying that they told you so.
Yeah.
There's a couple of individuals that you and I have spoken about
Yeah.
frequently who typify that. And I guess, I don't know, it gets back to what we were talking about earlier. How many people can you genuinely trust to have your back?
Very few. Very, very few. I mean, those that are lucky, I reckon, and I know, Martin, you've been unlucky in this regard that, you can usually count your father amongst those people, but not everyone can, and I know, unfortunately, you're not one of those people.
Thank you, James.
I was one of those people until not too long ago, and but generally with a father, you can count on someone that is going to genuinely have your interests at heart. I find even with people that, even consciously, that they think that they are your best friend, they're going to impose their views and their thoughts on the way they would act in this situation, and they might have some unconscious bias about, for example, I was telling you the issue with younger women, right? So I've got a friend, as you know, who's an older woman, and she dislikes the fact that I like younger women and have dated younger women because I can. And my thinking, right, is honestly, why would I date someone that's significantly older than me or the same age as me if I don't have to? Why would I do that? Unless I just wouldn't. I'm not attracted to them. And her reasoning is, oh, you won't have anything in common with them, which is just utter garbage. It's just her.
And actually, is not a call to make anyway.
Well, it's not, but it's. I think it's just her insecurities with the fact that she's getting on and she finds it hard to find a partner in this city, and demographically, I know why. She's hit the wall, and she's actually an attractive lady, and she's fun. She should be able to find somebody, but in terms of her shopping list of things, she's not prepared to give on any of it. And so her sexual marketplace value is completely separated from reality of where she's at, right? So she's saying to me, oh, well, you should be dating older women. I don't have to. My sexual marketplace value is pretty high. I make good money. I have a nice place. I, can have conversations with people. I can hold my own, all the rest of it. So my value, even though I'm, a similar age, a bit younger than her, as a man, she thinks that men and women's sexual marketplace value is the same. It isn't.
It is, yes, understood. Could we take a brief commercial break, please, James?
Of course, Martin. And I think we've got one listener, which is great. We had two at one point. This is like our first live stream. Apologies.
We probably need to get a facility by which listeners can ring in with their problems, their issues, looking for a bit of guidance and advice. Because in this area of life, we've seen it all, really.
Well, what we actually need to do is we need to have a proper agenda and dialogue. I mean, this is all just impromptu. This is our first live stream, just to see if we can get it working. We'll get the audio working better. We'll get proper discussion points, and stop the rambling. We'll probably introduce alcohol as well. Alcohol will probably help.
I like that a lot. Look, I will. I need to briefly just deal with a caller of my own on this end.
Yeah.
And let us reconvene.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be back online in 5 minutes. Thanks to our listener for bearing with us, and we'll be back with you shortly.